He went to New York in the 90s, 80s would have been hilarious.
Yeah. We need to let this rock. At the beginning of the pod.
How many
Why?
intros?
Because we do, man.
You got 2 intros?
Why?
Welcome to the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast, people.
You do realise we have an
I
intro
am your
song.
host today,
We
Peter.
got an intro, you know that, right?
Along with my bro,
We got,
Mo.
we got intros.
And my bro, Yemi.
Bro.
How we doing, gents? Sounds so soulful, don't you agree?
I'm not co-signing this. I'm not co-signing this.
Hi, Peter. How you doing?
Nah.
No, we're not keeping that.
Let's
No,
do it for real.
no.
Let's do the real one now, bro.
Fool.
This guy wants 6 different songs in
guy.
one. This guy legit wants 6 different songs
He's a clown.
in one podcast.
He's a clown. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of Rhymes Like Dimes with me, Yemi, Mo, and Peter. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
What's going on?
Good, bro, man. You know, God is good.
All the time?
All the time.
All the time, God is good.
The Nigerian in us is flowing.
Trust me.
Love it. How we doing, gentlemen? How was your week? Good week so far?
Busy, man. Busy. Work's been cool. It's been all right, man. Quiet, man. But yeah, quiet and busy at the same time.
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 So we need to stop repeating stuff.
No, it's a
Why
black,
do
it's a-
we do that?
It's a black thing.
Yeah, I've realised that as well.
It's a black thing.
Why do we do that so
I don't
much?
know.
I think it's only a recent black thing. as
How
well.
you doing? I'm doing good.
Swear down.
Swear down. Shout out New Brand Flex.
Oh, yeah.
They are like, never mind. Never do it.
Mo, how you doing?
I was gonna. No, I'm good.
I heard you were ill.
I'm dying.
You're dying.
Yeah, like I'm actually.
But you
ill.
still came all the way.
Yeah, man.
from Tottenham.
My dedication. Word to Nipsey.
Word to the, I knew you were going to say that. It's all good, though. Shout out to them.
What was I saying? Yeah, I'm ill. Watched Avengers yesterday.
Oh, how was that?
Just fucking best movie of all time.
Endgame, right?
Yes, it is.
I've never been a Marvel guy.
Was it the Endgame?
Yes, I don't want to ruin it.
I'm not going to watch it.
I don't want to ruin it for the
Oh,
listeners.
yeah, sure. Okay. Fair enough.
But, nah, it was epic. Like, this was, 11, 12 years in the making from the first Iron Man. So, and I've watched all 22 in the cinema, so.
Wow.
But nah, besides Guardians of the Galaxy, first one. I'm pretty sure I've watched all 22 in the cinema.
Dedication for real.
Marvel's, it's epic, man. You've never been a Marvel fan?
No, just Black Panther. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Shout out to Black Panther.
Shout out
yeah,
to Chadwick.
Man. Yeah, shit was epic. And then Game of Thrones tomorrow, so that's my weekend set.
Keep Game of Thrones away from me.
Trust.
I'm good
Everyone
on
around me is talking about it like
that. I
crazy.
tried. I couldn't do it.
Alright, so
Where do we go from
Where do we go from here?
because that shit was that Game of Thrones was the best show I've ever watched in my life.
That can't be.
What, Over the Wire?
Over the Wire, and I've watched both.
Wow.
I've watched both. Like
Personally, I think The Wire is a bit too hyped. It's a great
No.
show, but I think it's too hyped.
the Game of Thrones will have, like, say the first 5 seasons, it will have like 8 storylines.
I
in
don't
one
think The
episode.
Wire's hyped. I don't think it's. I think it lives.
The
up.
Wire
I think
up
that's
until
hype.
Game of Thrones was the best show I've ever watched.
Did you ever watch House of Cards?
No.
Yeah, House of Cards is like, yeah, it's flipping amazing.
Is
What,
another
did you
one
watch
Kevin
it?
Spacey?
Did you watch it even
Another
after
one
Kevin Spacey?
I watched the
That's
last
what I was
season.
about to
I watched the last
say.
season
I'm
when
not-
they kicked him off.
I've never watched it, so I'm not watching it with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
when
start
the
it
thing-
now. But I can't start it now.
Yeah, but when it all
But I can't start it now. That's what I'm saying.
when it all happened with Kevin Spacey, it kicked him off the show.
But can I start it now, knowing that he's on the show?
Yeah. why
Well, he's on the show. He's on like the first 3 seasons.
Yeah. So can I start it now, knowing that he's on the
not?
show?
No, 5. I think.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I feel you, but that's only if you want to.
No, I'm not gonna start.
Look, you still listen to he who should not be named, and let's not mention him. So
No, I've checked out.
you checked
I've
out.
checked out. I'm not on that team anymore.
Okay, in that case,
We
then don't
can
watch it.
mention him.
Don't mention him.
No,
We
no,
mentioned him too
no,
much.
We actually have it on the podcast. We've been behaving.
Have we?
We actually have.
No, we mentioned him at least once.
I promise to God we haven't. We've actually.
I think we
behaved.
have. I think it might have been the intro to one of the
Oh,
episodes.
you're right with the intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was singing.
Anyway,
We've-
let's not mention him. It's all good. But it's what it is.
But with that being said, and honestly, whoever doesn't watch Game of Thrones, please do. It's the best show in the world, and you won't regret it. Shout out to the White Walkers.
Feel you. All right, well, it's episode 5. We made it, guys.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
We here?
yeah, we're here. I mean, congrats to us, I guess. Anyway,
Yeah, what do you even say to
Yo,
that?
we got to
Congrats,
big,
lads.
we got big number 5.
We got to big number 5-5.
Big
We got to 5-5. But yeah, thank you once again for your continued listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, we're just glad you guys rock with us. So yeah, let's just get straight. Oh gosh, I said rock with us.
Yeah, exactly.
I said rock with us.
The way I started laughing.
No, it's because of you. I'm my older brother, man.
With us.
My older brother is just like
Peter's an old head.
Peter's old head. We were just we were just saying in pre-production because we do have pre-production. that
Since when?
If we, I don't know what, but we were saying in the 90s, in a corner in New York, a hood in New York, you'd have like a 5% meeting, and Peter would be heading it, and Rizzo would be there, and Rizzo would be there, and Khalid Muhammad would be there.
Shout out to Khalid
Farrakhan
Muhammad.
might be there for a little bit, a little cameo.
Potentially.
You know what I'm saying? Someone selling bean pies,
Elijah Muhammad selling bean pies with a bow tie.
no doubt.
Peace to the gods and the earths.
Pete would definitely rock a bow tie
100%.
I have actually.
and dark shades.
I wore a bow tie to Letitia's wedding.
Shout out Leticia.
I thought I pulled it off quite well.
Oh, I can't remember that. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, man.
All right, fair enough.
Well, all right.
And on that note, let's get to the first topic, guys. So obviously what we first wanted to talk about was this kind of like, I suppose, can you call it a struggle? It's kind of like a situation where if you're an artist, what do you really do with your music? Do you sign with a label or do you decide to go the independent route? Obviously, there are a lot of pros and cons to both methods, and there have been varying levels of success from both sides. Obviously, people who sign to labels have been very successful in those labels. People who have been independent have been very successful in being independent as well. So we're kind of just weighing up the pros and cons of both. This comes in light as a rapper like Lil Uzi Vert is now having like publicized troubles with his label. They're basically preventing him from releasing any music. So there's that. And also Blueface, who didn't really know the contents of his deal with Cash Money. He didn't know whether he was in a 360 or not. So these are two young artists who obviously, I'm not going to assume things, but I imagine went into an agreement with a label, not really understanding what their worth was and what the contents of the contract were. So this topic is basically just about weighing up the pros and cons between being in a label and being independent. But I guess to open it up to the room, do you guys subscribe to the idea that you can either be label or independent? Or is there
A mutual.
Yeah.
I think it's either or. I think it's either or. No, like, you can't be in the middle. Don't dare me, fam. No, fam, I'm a grown man, fam. Some furniture will start moving. Now, Peter, rock on.
It's a tough one, man. You have to weigh up like what you're gonna get from a major label that you can't provide for yourself. Yeah, it's a tough one to
Well, the thing is,
I think where you have the major label, man, you have a lot of things being done for you that you may not be able to afford to do for yourself. You know, such as the promotion and such as like the financial backing as well. And as far as like the organization and you know, having a manager like kind of put on you as well to help facilitate certain things. So there were certain luxuries that you get with being signed. You get, you know, I think you get an advance when you sign as well, which can help fund certain things as far as the actual production of the music and paying for different producers and studio time and all that stuff. Whereas if you're independent, you're doing a lot of that yourself. You're paying for a lot of that out of your own pocket. A lot of artists, I don't know if they can afford to be independent. We don't know what goes on, you know, aside from the music that they're making and what goes on in their everyday life. So I think it's about weighing up the two. If you can afford to be independent, if it was me, I think I would be independent and do it all myself. Because, you know, essentially, I would be able to recoup all the money that I invest into myself back into myself. Whereas, I guess if you're signed to a record label, they will give you, I think the advance, I think you may have to pay that back. I think based on your sales.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yemi can speak more on that, but I believe so. So if that's the case, I can only imagine how much more the label will recoup from you in the midst of you, you know, selling out tours, selling out different shows, selling out albums, singles. Essentially, you're getting cut out of money that could just be all yours if you were independent.
Yeah, I mean, being in a label, and especially the idea of getting an advance, it's basically like going to the bank and ask for a loan. But you have to pay that back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of young artists do is, especially in these days, you make a song, you generate your own buzz, you become popping in and of your own right. If you then decide to sign with a label, you take that buzz into the label, and the label gives you the structure through which you can propel your music and your own brand further. Now, with that comes certain compromises, because obviously a label only sees, well, I don't want to say that, but a label sees you as an investment. So they're going to want to do whatever they can to protect their investment. That means maybe, and I'm going to use the example of like Lupe, because he had a lot of trouble with Atlantic before he got released. They were basically trying to make him go pop, essentially. And that was something that he didn't want to do. And although it was successful for him, it didn't fulfill him. And there are countless stories of labels basically diluting the content of an artist to market them to a wider audience, which might not necessarily translate to them. So labels do give you that security, and they're able to promote you through press, obviously, radio, TV. There's a machine behind you. So you don't necessarily have to worry about that as much. And it does work for people. And if you get to a position where maybe you are independent, but you want to work with a label, you can do a distribution deal where they only, I don't know the contents of it, I don't know the details of it, but I'm sure that you go to a label, get them to distribute your music, they take a cut, but you get the lion's share.
Didn't
That's your
Charles do
stuff.
that? Charles done that with Apple or something, did he? We had a distribution deal with someone, I forgot who it was.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think he was still independent, but he had some form of, and then that's when everyone
I think
kind
it
of
was...
got onto him like, yo, you're not as independent as you always act
Yeah.
out like you are. He had a because he always was like, I'm independent, I'm not with anybody, but he had the distribution deal with someone, and that's when the whole kind of
Well, that's where the idea
plant
of like,
seed and all of that started happening.
I mean, I guess then it boils down to what you regard as independent, because you can still be an independent artist and do deals with companies.
Then are you really independent if you're still kind of making these deals with these larger corporations?
I think so,
I think
because
you're still independent.
yeah, you're still independent because if you're still getting a lion's share of whatever profit is there, and you own the music, like Nipsey owns his masters. I think Brandy recently bought her masters. Sierra's husband bought her masters for her birthday.
Shout out to Russell Wilson.
Shout out to Russell Wilson, like stuff like that. Having your music and being able to generate income for yourself without a middleman or a label taking a cut,
It's big.
it's very big, and that is like the most independent you can be. But I think there are levels of independence to where you can do distribution deals, you can do deals with labels, you can do deals with all these platforms, what people are starting to do anyway, and still retain the lion's share of whatever's coming in.
Right.
So someone like Tech9 he's got his strange music label. He's completely independent. I think he owns his he probably does own his masters as well.
He has to.
So that's the epitome of it. But there's also levels to it. And like you say, Peter, there is a lot of groundwork, especially at the beginning. Because at the beginning, you might not have a team around you that really get the business, or might not necessarily be good for the role. So there's a lot of education that comes into being independent if that's what you choose. But generally, it is a topic of education, whether you're a label or independent anyway. So read the contract, read up on contract law, get yourself a lawyer, get yourself an accountant, get yourself a manager, someone who you're able to really sit down with and really crunch through numbers and facts and what this does and what that does. So stuff like that.
So do you feel like a lot of these artists tend not to really look into like their contractual obligations and the legal aspects of it when they sign to major labels?
Look at Blueface.
100%.
But that's one example. I've never heard anybody...
How many times have you heard a rapper say that, oh shit, like, I don't know, like, they always have disputes with their thing because they don't know how many albums they've got left on a record deal that they've signed, or
But
they
that's-
don't own their music. That's just them not doing their due diligence.
That's different to a Blueface. Blueface
Has
is
no idea, yeah.
He's unaware of how many people he's signed to.
That was wild.
I've never heard of an instance like that before.
But there's also the case of Uzi where he signed to a label and everything was cool. He was releasing music, and maybe somewhere along the line they reached an impasse, and maybe the label would like, okay, you're not ready to release music, even though he's sitting on a bag of stuff. He's now uploading to SoundCloud because he's like, F the label. So I do think young artists especially are not really taking time to look at what they're reading. even like back to like NWA. We saw it in the movie Straight Outta Compton. Eazy-E and Jerry Heller, is that his name?
Yeah.
They founded Ruthless Records, NWA signed to it, and Ice Cube left because of the money situation.
Right.
And those guys will happily admit that they weren't reading that stuff because A, it wasn't really being communicated to them that they need to. They were just getting thrown money, take it, do your thing, but we're going to take this share. It's happened throughout history. Well, rap history anyway. Like, we just tend not to.
I think in this day and age where, you know, you literally have the internet at your disposal to do anything you want to do, why would you sign to a major label? You can make music in your bedroom and then distribute it yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you like give away all your rights to these corporations? Yeah, the financial backing is there, but if it kind of interferes with any sort of creative control, like, why on earth would you sign to a label? Do it yourself. Make the money yourself.
I got a feeling people ain't signing to. I don't think the way people were signing to labels before people are signing to labels now. I do think a lot of people are doing what you're saying. The biggest artist in the UK, in my opinion, that we've got is independent, right? Stormzy's independent still, isn't he?
Well, he's got Murky and they've aligned with Atlantic.
Yeah.
So,
but he's still kind of. He seems like, from what I've last heard of his kind of deal, is that he's still independent, but he might have some form of link to Atlantic, but he's still kind of independent the way he views himself. I don't know what specific is, but I feel like rappers ain't really signing to labels that the way they are, the way they were before.
I think they are. I think they're still.
I don't feel like they're rushing to it though.
No, maybe not, because I feel, like Peter said, the internet is there for you to be able to do things yourself. And if you then make the decision to go to a label because they offer something you cannot do for yourself, then it makes all the sense in the world, as long as you are able to really understand what you're going into the label for, what you require from them, and what you need to do for them to help you along your journey. So there's that element as well. Someone like, shout out to Nux. Nux is signed to, I think it's Island. So he's an up-and-coming rapper, and he still obviously feels like it's time to sign to a label. So I do think there are still benefits to it. But the thing with labels is, though, I feel like labels generally these days, they're just after whatever is hot and popping, which then leads them to sign people off the spur of like a viral moment. So someone like a Trinidad James.
He got 5 mil.
Who did he sign to? He signed to Def Jam, did he?
No, he signed to, Def Jam.
Yeah.
I think it was Def Jam, and they gave him like 5 mil, something like that, advance off. It's stupid.
Off the back of, was it All Gold?
All Gold Everything.
All Gold Everything. Obviously, Bad Baby, the Catch Me Outside girl. She's got a record deal with Atlantic, and she is making.
But she's huge though.
She's huge now. She's huge, but she never.
She's massive.
Yeah, but she never. Well, we didn't know. We only know her off the viral moment. But obviously, we didn't know whether she was actually a musician or she actually had a desire to. I think I watched a interview she did with the Fader when she said that she was just invited down to Atlanta. She was just in the studio, and just that's how it started. I'm not sure she actually had an intention to actually be an artist. So that sort of thing is kind of blocking the way for like true proper artists who might not have the access to resources or the ability to do it on their own to then go to a label. You're clogging up the space. And even someone like Cardi B, to an extent, obviously she's a musician. She's been making music. But at the same time, what did we know her as before? She was the Instagram girl. She did Love and Hip Hop and stuff like that. So even stuff like that, we've seen her grow from being like a viral moment to being a proper artist. So maybe we need to afford time to someone like a Bad Baby. No. But labels are making it harder sometimes for someone who is actually trying to make great music and is a proper musician to prosper.
But just going back to something Mo said, I think the real musicians aren't even wanting to sign to these labels as well, because if we look back in history, man, a lot of the real musicians, when they do sign to these like massive labels, their art is then becoming diluted, and the label's trying to like shape them into an image in which isn't them, which is why a lot of them aren't being attracted to these major labels. I think, her, the singer, I don't know, I feel like she's signed to Atlantic. She might be one of the only artists in a long time that like she's got artistic integrity and the label's allowing her to fulfill that. I don't know many artists that are being allowed to do that when they are attached to like major labels.
I feel like record labels don't know what to do artists that can have integrity and go about it a certain way. I feel like they become lost. And I feel like record labels will rather put money behind someone that they know they're going to get something back off. They knew they were going to get something off Bad Baby. They knew they were going to get something off whoever they signed, because they sold Cardi B, for example. You know you're going to make something off the back of that. But if you sign an artist who, quote unquote, say is lyrical and underground, it's a hit and miss. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, but it also goes
because
back.
at the end of the day, all they want to do is make money.
Yeah, but it also
That's the end
goes
goal.
back. But it also goes back to the artists knowing what they want when they go to labels. Like a lot of these artists don't know what they want. Like if you're going to a label asking them for creative control, if you're asking them for this money to, like, I don't know, give to your team to build from that way. Like if just go with demands, innit? That's what I would advise artists who are looking for that sort of thing to do. Like just know what you want. Know your worth and just know what you want before you go in there with a bunch of suits who don't understand you, will not understand you, and really just set the tone for what the relationship is going to be. Otherwise, they're just going to run all over you probably.
And it also depends on the type of label.
Yeah.
Because look at Kendrick, Top Dog. I think they're aligned with Interscope, and I think if I was going to sign to a label, they seem like a label that, you know, would look after you as far as your artistic integrity, and push you to be the best that you can be as an artist. I think they would take care of, like, you know, the marketing side of things, but they'll let you just focus on the art.
Yeah.
And there are still labels out there like that, like, you know, them specifically, like, you know, they've got the Kendricks, the Schoolboy Q's, SZA. So, and they're artists, you know, they're great rappers as well and singers.
You had to mention SZA.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But they're like artists, innit? And they're allowed to just be artists.
Yeah.
And just do what they want to do.
And on the flip side, you have quality control. Quality control is
QC.
Migos. It's
Cardi B.
well, I mean, she's only on like she's an associate, but she's got a deal there. It's like a management deal.
she's
Like
got
a
a
management
deal,
deal.
she's got a deal there.
Steph London is on there. Little Baby and Gunna, I believe, and they're
City Girls, I think. As
City Girls as well. So they're running it. I think it's especially those kind of like black owned labels that really understand
Rock Nation.
the world that Rock Nation as well. That really understand the world that they're in and what they need to provide artists. I think that's more of a wave that's starting right now. Even Maybach music to an extent, you know.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Only
And-
one that I've seen, I don't mean to cut you off though. Only one that seems to have problems is Young Money, Cash Money.
Yeah.
Like that always follows Birdman. He's every artist he's ever. I remember Tiger done an interview at the Breakfast Club. I don't know if you remember years ago. And they were like, Tiger was like, I don't make no money off my songs. I don't make no money off my albums. He's like, I pay for my music videos. And then Charlamagne was like, so how do you make your money? He's like, every bit of money I've ever made is through touring.
Yeah.
Going back to what Yemi said, it's kind of his responsibility to
No, 100%. 100%.
to understand, you know, what his contract says.
But the thing is, because he goes to Birdman, and Birdman is supposed to be this savvy businessman, I suppose that gives Tiger a little bit of leeway to really believe what Birdman is telling him, rather than like it's not like it's a white man who's telling him this stuff. You probably would look a little bit more side-eyed if he told you that. But someone like Birdman who gets you, who has seen you develop, you kind of trust him a little bit more. It's kind of what happened with Wayne.
You're right.
Like that is an acrimonious thing I've never seen one when it comes to labels.
Acrimonious.
Acrimonious. Word guard.
I feel you though, because it just seems like that's the one thing that follows Birdman. Every artist he's ever signed, sooner or later, has some sort of problem with him. Like, I don't know why you would sign with Birdman in 2019, in my opinion, anyway.
I think Tiger and Wayne are different though, man. Wayne signed with Birdman when he was like 14. At 14 years of age, it's not really his responsibility to understand what it is he's signing.
Tiger was,
it's
what,
his,
16?
It's his parents. I don't know how old Tiger was.
Tiger
He was
can't have
he was much older than
Nah,
that.
Tiger
wasn't
can't
that-
have been that much older.
Bro, when did Bedrock... Tiger's maybe 28 now. Bedrock came out, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, Tiger's your age.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Bedrock came out 10 years ago.
So how old was he when Bedrock came out?
18.
He must have been like, yeah.
Say he signed...
18,
say-
19.
Okay, then where are his legal guardians
to
then?
say, I feel you there. But, like, I honestly feel like it's what Yemi said. When you look at your...
Okay. He was 21. He was 21 he signed to Young Money.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, come on.
That's still young, bro.
Yeah, of course.
When you
but-
throw money in front of someone that age, and plus you look at someone like Birdman, you're my peoples. We're the same peoples, like, yo. Yeah, but whether you like it or not, that's how you look at it. If you give me Birdman and you give me, say, Jimmy Iovine, I'm going to look at Birdman like, yo, you're not going to do me dirty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just naturally It's the brother,
Naturally,
man,
you're
not
not
the
gonna.
other man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, fam?
yeah. You joke about that, but it's actually right.
legit,
Like
yeah.
you would expect Birdman to
To
have
look
your
after him.
interests more than a Jimmy Iovine or Leo Cohen. You know what I mean? So, in that respect, it is a bit tricky that side, but
feel you.
gladly, like we only have that example.
He's the only one that I feel like that does it, that has come back out.
I feel like
90%
Kanye
of
West
us.
is he's going through that as well. I read something recently where he had some sort of contractual agreement where he's not allowed to ever stop recording. That's absolutely insane. At what point do you start putting the onus on the artist to, get their paperwork in order and look at the stuff that they're signing?
I feel like,
Thing is, I think Kanye does a lot of things on the spur of the moment anyway. So
He's a
maybe
madman.
maybe he signed that contract. just
yeah,
on the
like
spur
I
of
feel
the
like they'll
moment.
be like, "Yo, you're such a genius, man. Don't ever stop." And then he'll be gassed at the moment, like, "Yeah,
Oh my
man.
God.
Oh my God, come on, guy." Like he's them kind of guys, bro.
Oh my God,
Like,
Jesus walks.
Yeah, like, oh my, you're God.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, all right. Like he's weird like that.
Or maybe Kim signed it for him.
Yeah, but there's no disrespect will ever go on the Rock Nation record label from. They don't do dirty people. They don't do people.
Well, I mean, let's not act like Rock Nation has gone everything, right?
if they have.
Shout out K Coke.
Yeah, but that
No,
I
K.
think,
Cole, I'm sorry. No, wait, K. No, I can't even back this one. Man.
I feel like that may have been more of a him issue. He had a lot of legal issues, man. He never really got going.
You think he could got? No disrespect to K. Cole, but you feel like he could have?
No, but
I
of course not.
hate this guy. I hate this
But
guy.
He's always got to play the devil's advocate.
hey,
Yo,
what
but
I'm saying?
they
Did,
have.
Did Rock Nation sign Lady Sovereign? Or was that Rockefeller?
Who signed N-Dubs?
I want to say it was Rock Nation.
Was that Rock Nation as well?
No.
Who signed N-Dubs? Someone signed N-Dubs. No, it wasn't Rock Nation. There's no way that was Rock Nation. That was like Atlantic or someone.
You sure?
That
sure,
was
bro?
some. I remember it was someone big and it's
I
supposed.
think Lady
told him.
Sovereign signed to Def Jam or Island or one of them ones.
I'm gonna check. But shout out to Ratman. Ratman is he's on Rock Nation now, so hopefully he actually is able to like prove himself.
I don't think it goes well for UK artists on Rock Nation. I think Rita Ora had a lot of issues.
She did.
And she.
But that's because I think they were trying to make her. Yeah, it was Def Jam.
it was definitely Lady Sovereign.
Yeah, no, N-Dubs.
Oh, N-Dubs.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
cool.
Raw. Former artists on Rock Nation. Sugar Babes,
I swear.
K Coke, Kylie Minogue, Rhea Ora, Demi Lovato, Khaled.
I don't think that's a miss. I don't think any of them are misses. Like K. Cole's a miss. Sugar Babes isn't a miss.
Well, it depends on when they signed.
What do you mean by miss?
Like they were decent.
Oh, as in they couldn't really do much anyway.
Yeah, man. What can you really do
I
with?
mean,
like,
they're already peaked.
No, Sugar Babes were like.
Stop it, bro.
They were a
Stop
thing,
it,
man.
Stop it, bro. Sugar Babes had like 50.
We're not a pop
different members.
podcast, by the way.
Sugar Babes had
We're
like,
not, are we? How we talk about Sugar Babes?
no, we're talking about
It's
them.
here, bro.
They don't miss as much.
No,
don't
not
miss
at all,
as well.
not at all. But I do feel like there is a wave now of rapper-led labels, obviously like Dreamville, and even though QC,
Got a great team.
which has got a great team, and even though QC isn't rapper-led or Top Dog isn't rapper-led, like those kind of labels are on the rise again.
Yeah.
But even with the Dreamville.
Dreamville. I don't like the way you done that.
Sorry.
I really no.
But with Dreamville though, we haven't seen who have they put out. We haven't seen like anyone be kind of.
But that's what I'm saying though. But we know them. Some of these rappers.
but I
we-
also think-
that's not enough. We need to see what they do as far as putting out an official release, like official.
Boss has
album.
got a couple
Yeah,
of-
but EPs and
He's got a couple. That's
what albums.
I think he's got one album and a couple EPs.
Yeah,
that
but
are
that
solid.
came and went.
It was solid though.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the quality of the music. I'm talking about as far
The
as
popularity?
as far as what they do to help get them propelled to that next
I think
point.
Cole is doing it the right way though, because he's basically been developing the team. He's been developing a roster, and now that it's in a stage now where he's comfortable with, I think now is going to be the time for them to really prove that they're one of the like most
Yeah.
up and coming ones. I don't necessarily have an issue with no one really like being the star, because that's not. I don't think that's what they're about. I think it's more about the community. I think it's more about the collective genius or the collective skills of the label.
That's fine, but the point of a label is to help propel you to that next
But
point.
it takes a little while. It's recent as well. If you think about it. When did JID join on Dreamville?
He hasn't released.
That's what I'm
An
saying.
album,
That's what I'm saying. It's still recent. Give them time.
But you mentioned Baz. Is that his name?
Boss, yeah.
Yeah. So his
He's a
album.
very good rapper.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, but labels aren't. But labels.
This
I don't
guy.
think it's. I don't think we should put pressure on labels, or I don't think we should put pressure on labels to just break a start immediately.
But then, what else are they here for?
They're here
They're
for-
here to help with marketing and,
Artists,
and take you to that next point.
But I also-
if they can't help you do that, then why would you sign? Why not just do it yourself?
You expect that after the first album?
I expect after the first album for them to help me get to a point that is beyond where I was already at.
But he is
But
there,
if it
though.
doesn't
If he-
do,
but
if it
he's there.
doesn't, if it doesn't do that, then what's the point?
I think you're asking for too much too soon.
After the first
Why?
album.
What are labels there for?
They're there for artist development. And obviously artist development can take longer than an album. Or it can take longer than a year or so. Like,
Oh, so you're factoring in the fact that there is some work to be done with the artist
Yeah, of course.
before they release stuff.
labels are going to look at artists, whether they're Cardi B with Bold That Yellow or they're Bad Baby with whatever song she's got. Okay, I see you've got potential, but you still need some, like, you're rough around the edges. You need a little bit of trimming. You need a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of that. It's not just a case of, okay, you've signed now, let's make you a hit record or let's make you a hit album. There needs to be time for them to grow into the labels, grow into how they work and how they operate, and for the label on the other side to get to know the artist and see where they want them to go.
So are you in favor of signing to a label?
I'm in favor of, and this is going to be a massive sit on the fence, but I'm in favor of whatever the artist thinks is best for them.
That's a cop.
That's come on, bro. Come on.
Personally, I wouldn't sign to a label.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
But at the same time, I am understanding of the fact that some people might have to because they might not have the funds. If I'm an independent artist and I don't have the funds, where am I going to get it from?
No, you're right.
I'm going to get it from a label. But you need to understand what agreement you're getting into, basically.
But we're all in agreement that if it was up to us, we wouldn't sign to our label.
I think I'd stay independent, man.
Why?
I would just want.
To be in control of your
I'd
own.
like to build up my fan base like from the ground up, and I feel like I can just do it myself. If I do get, and that's just the beginning. If I feel as though I get to a point where I've hit a ceiling and I do need a label, then I wouldn't mind maybe do some form of like distribution deal or whatever. I don't really know the intricacies of like a distribution deal or like publishing or whatever, but I would collaborate with a label to help, I guess, with promotion. I wouldn't necessarily sign to them, but if they can help,
Yeah, I'd do that too.
then I'm not opposed to that. But essentially, yeah, if I can like own my masters, be signed to myself, make all the money myself by being independent, I'll definitely stay independent. I'm not
It is a
trying
lot of
I'm
work,
not trying to share my money with like all these corporations and that for what?
It is a lot of work, though, like being independent.
Especially as a black artist, man. Like from what like these corporations have been doing to like not only black people but black artists for years. What the fuck am I signing to these labels, man?
I feel you, but it's also a lot of
Right,
work.
fam.
It is also a lot
I'm
of work.
passionate about it though, man.
But even just outside of making music, it is you're marketing yourself, you're promoting yourself, like you're trying to get yourself like press interviews, radio interviews, stuff like that, having meetings with money people, having meetings with like licensing people, business people. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work outside of just making music, which a lot of artists might feel they don't have the time for or the energy for, and that's where labels come in. So I can see the good in both, as long as you know what you want. Just know what you want. Artists, just know what you want.
But do you feel like the UK scene, the labels here have a bad rep like the ones in the States?
That's a very good question.
Because we've seen many examples of the labels over there that, mistreat artists, maybe hold back artists from releasing music, maybe try and mold certain artists into being this pop figure if
Yeah,
they are
Atlantic.
singers, or if they're a rapper and try and like mold them into like this pop rapper. Whereas UK, I haven't heard too many instances of certain great rappers being at a point where they're ready to blow, they sign to a label, and then the label kind of messes things up.
I think it's you probably do have a couple stories about that. None come to mind right now, but I think the artist label struggle is a universal one. Like it can happen to anyone. It can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if I did hear a story of a UK artist in a label struggling to like really express themselves or do what they want to do. Also got to factor in that obviously the scene here is still like kind of not brand new, but it's still developing. So maybe there isn't as much like capacity for that to happen yet.
Yeah.
So there's that, but I don't know.
What artists here have their own labels?
I really want to check his
question.
because I'm pretty sure he is.
What about Tiny Temper?
With the Stormzy. Oh, he's got a Disturb in the piece.
What about Chipmunk?
Chipmunk. I want to say I haven't heard about him having a label.
I haven't heard.
I feel like Retro signed to him at one point.
Signed to who?
Retro
Chip.
signed to Chip.
Yeah.
Nah,
crazy.
Retro signed to Polydor Records and he was signed to a ministry of.
I think he still
someone before
signed to.
that. He signed to Polydor now, but he was signed to a ministry of someone before. Let me check that. If I'm right, I'm in a bad way.
Because I feel like Chip had a label called Always Recording, if I'm not mistaken, and I feel like
No. See, Retro.
when
signed
Rich
to,
made Retrospective, I feel like
nah,
he might have been doing something with Chip
Chip was on Grand Hustle in 2012.
before that.
He was on Jive.
Yeah, he was.
All right, I might have got that.
And,
So
now,
Retro's-
and now he's on Cash Motto.
All right, yeah. Pardon me.
Retro signed to Ministry of Sound. Oh, why am I bad way? And they Polydor Records now.
So did I just make that up?
Yeah.
So UK artists.
Don't ever son Retro 3 like that, by the way.
That's not a son, though.
Don't ever son Retro 3.
Why is that a son?
That's
That's
definitely a son.
Why is
That's
that a son?
No disrespect to Chip. To say Retro signed to Chip is a son.
Bro, listen, check.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah,
bro.
but hold on, hear this.
Don't ever
Yeah.
do that.
If they're friends,
No,
if they're
serious.
friends, yeah, and Wretch hasn't got the platform that Chip does, and Chip is at a point where he's sold records and they've given him his own situation.
Giggs can sign-
Why the hell would they not
so-
collaborate and
so-
sign to each other?
So Gets can sign Kano.
If Gets is at a point where like, if Gets is at a point where like, you know, he's got more of a platform than Kano,
Well,
then
Pusha,
why wouldn't Kano?
hang
like,
on, hang on.
It's the-
hang on. Pusha T is the president of Good Music, and you got a good music artist. He's probably, I don't know if he signed anybody, but he manages.
It's not that. This guy said it's the way he said he signed Retro 3 too.
I didn't- bro,
I'm your
you're-
boss, big man.
But by
Nah,
that logic,
I
Kanye's,
didn't
but,
say in
but,
any way,
but,
man.
but if you say it like that, then to relate it back to the Pusha thing, Kanye is technically signed to Pusha,
I feel you.
even though he signed to himself.
But you
And
know,
he
what it is?
made
I look at the
Pusha
standings as well. Chipmunk signing Retro just looks wild. Sounds wild to me.
It's because he's older, innit?
Not even that. It's just I don't know how to word it. It just sounds wild. Do you know what I mean? It just sounds.
Sounds disrespectful.
Yeah, man. Reg. That's the goal.
Yeah, I think UK artists are more likely to just go direct to label rather than the artist.
yeah, I'm
label.
not bugging. I'm not bugging. I just found it.
On what?
There's a label called Always Recording founded by Chipmunk and somebody called Maroon in 2008. Artists are Chip, Page Cakey, and Retro 3
It says here Retro 3 do signed a Polydor Records. So
Yeah, but I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about like way back,
Yeah, and it was signed
Look,
to
what
what
does
year?
that say?
What year does it say?
2008.
Let me see where it was signed to 2008. Ministry of
So
Sound.
that's, and I don't even feel like that's a sunning.
That's a tiny Wikipedia page. But for you.
That's a very tiny Wikipedia page. I can
Yeah, but
edit
you
that
could,
right
you
now.
can. I'm sure you could find it on your Googles.
I can edit that right now.
Like Google Always Recording.
I'm not googling nothing that's got Rich signed on.
Why are you so like?
I don't know, you know.
Bro,
He just thinks it sounds.
But I remember but you're right because I remember when Chip was remixing bare stuff. He used to rep that record label
Yeah.
hard. You're right.
But also,
Used to
like,
rep it hard.
UK artists don't really go to other UK artists. They go to US. Obviously, Skepta went to, he didn't sign to them, but obviously he collabed with Diddy. Chip went to Grand Hustle, T.I. Obviously, Ratman's with Not Rock Nation. A lot of people just go to US ones.
Yeah.
And UK artists are more likely to just go direct to a label, like sign with a label, like a Polydor on Island. So I think it's a little bit
XL.
different. XL, yeah, as well. So there's that as well. But generally, do what you want. Artists, just know why you're doing it.
That's all it is. Just make sure you know what you're signing, man.
Just read the paper.
Yeah,
And if
man.
you don't want to read it, get someone who is, who can read and, is woke on those kind of things
Because
to just read it for you.
labels take advantage of people too much. It's jarring.
That's how they get you. And that's not just like labels. That's just like everyday life. We should all read the terms and conditions of everything.
You're right.
We don't. We should.
Besides phone contracts, let me just sign a contract and get my shop.
Did this happen to you recently?
Nah, I had a customer legit take half an hour once just reading terms and conditions.
hey man, I respect
You got to.
I
Nah,
respect it.
listen, man. he
I
still
know it's
si-
messing your
he-
commission.
He still signed it.
Fine, but only after he read it.
Peter, do you read your phone contracts?
No,
You know what I mean?
No,
that's a phone
no.
contract. I know what they can do to me.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, that's different.
But generally, we should.
Generally, just make sure you know what you're signing. And if you feel like that's the best move for you, rock on.
Rock on. Rock on. Well, safe. All right, let's segue into the next topic.
Or what he said, rock on.
Yeah, but he said the way he said it, but I can't
See,
stand it.
the rock on is like, it's an effect. You
Rock
see
on,
what you've done?
rock
You've
on.
infected us.
Yeah, you actually have. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Blame Joe Budden.
Yeah, audience, there's a running joke in the group chat that Pio is an old ass nigga. And he basically says things like, let it rock. And now it's just
Yeah,
basically
but that's only in
contaminated.
relation to like music.
What else?
Whenever-
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to go up to a random person and say, let it rock.
Yeah, but like I don't see anything wrong with the term.
It just makes you sound old, bro.
I mean, I'm getting old.
He's got an old soul.
He's definitely got old soul. What did I say about the 5% corner?
Yeah.
It's very true.
Peter embraces it now.
Yeah, I do.
Wears fedoras.
Hey,
God, old soul.
I haven't seen him wear a fedora in a while,
It's
though.
been a while, man.
It's been a while. You need to bring the fedora back.
I'm gonna
fam.
bring it back.
Don't bring it back.
Summertime. Summertime.
You a nasty man if you wear a fedora in summertime.
Listen, man, I'm gonna bring it back. Don't worry.
Please don't.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Hove.
My name is Pete.
Yo,
Pete to the 18.
don't ever use my name as a J verse at the beginning of a J.
I used to
verse,
move
bro.
bean pies by the JD.
What?
I don't know.
Well, let's talk a left turn, guys.
Anyway,
So
let's go on to the next
Time to
topic.
build a bear.
Peter obviously had a great idea because he's full of great ideas.
Hey,
And he basically proposed a topic on the group chat. Build your perfect MC. This is basically a thing where we choose a quality of a rapper and make our perfect MC. It's kind of like building.
A bear.
It's kind of like build a bear or like Lego. That's the thing I was trying to say. It's like building a Lego. So yeah, Pete, if you want to take it away,
so you want me to start?
Yeah.
go ahead.
So your topic.
First of all, just outlay the topics because obviously you've.
No, I think I'll outlay it as I'm going along.
Yeah.
Alright, fair
Let me jot this down.
Yeah, man. So just like similar to what Yemi said, I've got like a few attributes that I will take from. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Because I said attributes.
Yeah, but I hate
Well, you heard that word before.
attributes.
Yeah,
I play football manager.
feel you. Yeah, man. So I would pick the beat picking ability of a Ghostface. I feel like his ear for production is great. Him and Rick Ross, I feel like have some of the best ears for production. They know what suits them best. And so I would want my ultimate MC/rapper to have the same ability. I would pick also the lyricism of Elzai. I think lyrically he's amazing. I feel like there's nothing he can't do like rhyme wise. Again, I would want my ultimate rapper to be able to do the same. Lyrical content, I would pick that of Common. I love what he talks about. I would want my ultimate rapper to, encompass all the things that Common talks about, as far as being political, speaking about social issues. I like how pro-black he is within his raps as well. So I would love for my ultimate rapper to do the same. And then delivery, I would pick that of Scarface. I feel like with Scarface, his voice, his commanding tone is just dope. Like when he says a rap, I feel like you believe it and you feel it. And yeah, again, I would want my ultimate rapper to have the same sort of ability. And then flow, I would pick that of Biggie. I feel like Biggie, there's just nothing he can't flow to. No matter what type of production it is, I just feel like it sounds great. And there's versatility in that as well, and being able to rhyme to so many different types of production. So yeah, I would want my ultimate rapper to have that as well. Voice, I would pick that of Nas, circa 93 to 97.
Come on, man.
What?
Come on, man.
What?
Circa to 93.
Yeah, bro.
Circa.
Circa,
Listen.
he says, fam.
Can I finish?
Sorry, brother. Man.
Yeah, man. I feel like Nas, within that time particularly, his voice was very husky, very laid back. I felt like he had that jazz beginnings as well, which I guess had a bit of an influence on how he would flow over a track or how his voice would sound against a type of instrumental. Yeah, again, I would want my ultimate rapper to have that. I would want my ultimate rapper to have the creativeness of Andre 3000. Yeah, I feel like Andre, the way he puts his verses together, I feel like is a bit outside of the box. And I would want my MC to encompass that as well. And then finally, I would want my ultimate rapper to have the arrogance / attitude of Rakim. I feel like even for like the 80s, I feel like Rakim was just like, he just came across really cool, man. He was in the nation of gods and earths. He was very pro-black. He was for the upliftment of his people. And then he was just dripped in gold. And he just looked like real cool in it. So yeah, that would be my ultimate rapper. My ultimate rapper would have all of those qualities.
Rakim is definitely on that 5% corner with Pete. And
Oh, Rakim's there.
Oh, he's there. He's there.
His name was Rakim Allah, fam. He's
Rakim
posted
Allah.
there, fam.
What does your ultimate MC look like?
I don't know.
I thought you would have said Black Thought.
Nah.
No?
No, I don't really.
Because he wears fedoras too.
I don't care about looks though.
Fair enough.
I would hope you don't.
I'm just thinking
Why?
what that person would look like.
I don't care what your rapper looks like.
But it's like creating your custom
think so?
character on like a Western game.
Yeah.
What would that person look like?
Oh, I feel you.
That's
dunno.
what I'm wondering.
I'm not really sure.
I do like the way you said commanding tone.
Thanks, bro.
Taking advice from me.
Trying to.
100%. Yeah.
Trying to.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, that's a dope list.
I fuck with that list.
Safe.
It's a dope list.
Fuck with
Obviously,
that
he thought about it.
I'll talk some of you.
Yeah, my list is not finished, but if we're going off Pete's criteria, my ultimate MC would have the beat picking ability of Rick Ross. Rick Ross, he might have like top 3 ear for beats of all time, if that's even a thing that we're measuring.
That's debatable, but yeah.
I mean, it's something to talk about, but his
sure.
ear for beats is flipping amazing. Just like
Yeah.
if you look throughout all his albums, Teflon Don especially, like everything is just a movie. Everything is just a movie.
Very cinematic.
Very cinematic, very smooth, very slick. It's just dope. You would want, as a rapper, you would love to rap on those type of beats. So I'd have the beat picking ability of Rick Ross. Lyricism, I'd have that of Lupe Fiasco.
I came really close to choosing him.
Lupe Fiasco, even though like he's a lot more dense and cryptic these days. Early Lupe, circa 2005 to 2009.
Come on now.
Yeah, man.
Shoot their liquor.
There were few rappers rapping better than him in that period. And he's just always been dope. Like if you ever listened to the song Mural by Lupe,
Yeah.
that is just a masterclass in lyricism, and I would want that sort of thing to encompass what my ultimate MC would be. Content, I would have that of Kendrick Lamar. Just across his albums, it's been amazing to see his content grow and how daring he has been. I'd want my MC to be as daring and really attack the fabric of society and the way we look at people and the way we treat people.
Attack the fabric.
I'm not gonna
Yes,
lie.
sir.
I looked at him the minute he said that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you got bars, fam.
Hey, man, journalist in this thing. So yeah, he would have the content of Kendrick. He would have the delivery of MF Doom. MF Doom, I feel like, is very eccentric, but it's also in a weird way, kind of like, it's like a stream of consciousness. It's like he's having a conversation with himself. It's kind of like informal, and it's kind of laid back, and I would love my MC to kind of have that delivery as well. So he'd be delivering knowledge and bars, but in a way that doesn't go over your head. So he would have the delivery of Doom. He would have the flow of Method Man. I think Method Man has one of the best hip hop flows ever.
That's a good one.
He flows perfectly on any beat you give him. I remember watching the freestyle he did with Black Thought on Sway, and he was rapping over that
JID.
that JID beat. Shout out to Childish Major, I think he produced that. And it was just amazing. And the man can rap in Spanish, so boy, that's great. He can even flow in Spanish, so
What
there
can you say
go.
to that? What can you say to that?
What can you say? So Method Man, 100%. He would have the voice of Skepta. I think Skepta has a very commanding voice. And again, a bit like Method Man, I think I can hear Skepta's voice on any kind of production, and I feel like with all the other attributes of the rappers I mentioned, I feel like he'd be able to make, like, he'd be able to turn like something deep into something that's like accessible and poppy and stuff like that. So, and Skepta has an ability to make all kinds of tunes, so like Roadman, then Stage Show, The Girls, all that stuff. So definitely the voice of Skepta, because, it's a great voice. He'd have the creativity of Q-Tip, and that's more on like not just a rapping way, but also like it's kind of like his ear as well, because obviously he's very creative in the way he makes music and the way he composes music. He's a bit of a perfectionist, but that's cool. I feel like that would be a great addition to the ranks. And as far as arrogance goes, I don't know. I'm probably gonna say Jay-Z. Just because. Hey man, I haven't been reading your list. I'm sorry.
Literally, yeah, I got attitudes. Whole.
Yeah. It's right.
Listeners, for those that can't see what Mo was doing, he had his
His hands all up in the air.
I
Like,
started showing these guys
you
my
took
phone.
my shit.
I started showing these. That's 2 you took, by the way. But,
Hey man, look, great minds, innit?
Great minds, brother man.
Yeah, man.
I nearly picked Jay, but I was worried that one of you two would, so I tried to just think of
I feel
different-
you now, I feel you.
different
I would have
rappers.
thought you would have been the first person to choose.
I was going to, and I tried to avoid him and Black Thought.
I had to
Those
switch
are
up.
easy go-tos, isn't
I
it?
had to switch up a couple of stuff because you two
Yeah.
kind of. I feel like I had a combination of both what you guys said.
I see.
So I have switched up quite a bit.
Mm.
Should have gone first.
For real. But yeah, Jay-Z, man, just listening to old Jay-Z, especially before he got circa 96
Is that the new word?
to
yeah?
like
Circa.
Okay,
2003.
okay.
Basically before Beyonce
These mans are
entered
mocking
man's
me
life.
right now.
Yes, we definitely are.
Okay.
Basically, Jay-Z circa before Beyonce came into the picture.
Just that simple.
Yeah, man. He was on another level of that arrogant stuff, man.
Fully.
He had a line in like one of his songs. I think it was on Volume 3. Ladies, I love y'all, but I love my freedom more. It's that kind of attitude that it's kind of like, I respect it.
We know who you are.
Huh?
Like, I forgot he had a bar. Oh, I forgot. Never mind. But like, he had an amazing bar. He's at. You know what he's about.
Yeah, fully. So yeah, he's just he had a cockiness to him that was kind of like, okay, you're a bit of a dickhead, but you're cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
He knows how good he is.
It's like Peter. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what? Wow.
He is
Why are you
arrogant.
man sending for
He is
me so
arrogant.
much?
He is arrogant.
Arrogant? Come on, man.
No, it's kind of like a cockiness.
I love you for
You
it.
think I
brother.
got? You think I'm cocky?
You know you're suave with
You
it.
can be
brother,
cocky at
man.
times.
How?
It's like a subtle cockiness.
How?
We'll get to it later.
We'll talk post.
No, yeah, I want to get to it.
We'll
because
We'll talk post
I need you to
production.
tell me about me, man.
We'll talk post production.
Post production.
Pre-production,
post-production.
post-production.
For real.
We professionals out here.
Feel you.
Oh yeah, Mohammed.
I'm not gonna lie. So I had a mix of a couple of what both of you said. There's one I refused to take out. Actually, two. The beats picking, I did have Ross as well. I feel like me and you had a conversation about Ross on the way to
Who's you?
America. Me and Pete, me and Yemi
Oh.
on the way to America. Do you remember we was talking about Ross?
No.
Do you remember in the car with me, you, and Omar
Oh yeah, we were just going through like.
going through the list of all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
classics he's had and his ear for production, and like I've said to you guys for a while, I need a Ross album, man.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a while now. I'm feeling for a Ross album. Like he's just suave with it, and then the beats he picks, he's perfect with it. The lyricism, I said I would want lyricism of Jay Electronica. I still don't. Album or no album, I feel like there's very few people that could go bar for bar with someone like Jay Electronica. He must read 1,000 books a day. But like, as a lyricist, I honestly feel like this different level. I said lyrical content, I said Mos Def. Had Mos Def in my top 5 before. Lyrical content, we know what Mos Def is all about. Shout out to Black on Both Sides.
Yeah.
Great album.
We know what he's all about, so that's the kind of, do you know what I mean? Delivery, this might throw you guys for a loop. I said delivery, I would want Scarface.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. I want delivery Scarface. I want that roughness, you know what I mean? I want
want that-
Levy.
you
I
want
want
that-
that gritty thing.
you want
know
that
what I
gutter?
mean? Yeah, man, I want that gritty thing. I had a feeling that I might throw Peter for a loop, I'm not going to lie.
Because I chose him too. So
Did you?
you don't remember me saying
I thought you
that?
said Ghostface.
No, that was the beats.
I thought
Delivery
we-
was Scarface.
Let me change it.
Change what?
I want to change
No,
mine.
I was gonna pick either
I
Scarface or
promise you,
Beanie Siegel.
I legit thought you said, I promise you, I thought you
No,
said
keep
Do you
it,
have
keep
do
it.
you
I
have
had
an
it here.
alternative?
No,
I had
keep
here.
it, that's you.
What?
Do you have a plan B?
No, you can have that. I've got Plan B.
You sure?
Yeah, I
'Cause
was-
I honestly thought you said Ghostface on everything I love.
No, that's cool. I was gonna pick Beanie Siegel
Okay.
over or Scarface. I feel like not to kind of interrupt you, but just because they both have that same sort of authoritative.
Yeah. No, honestly, I thought,
Delivery, innit?
I don't know why I thought you said Ghostface. My bad, bro.
You don't listen to me, bro.
No, do you know what it was? I'd done the list, and then I didn't listen to it at that point.
I feel you.
Flow, I did say Biggie, I'm not gonna lie. That one. The best, that's the GOAT, in my opinion, for Flow. No one's better.
Debatable.
Okay.
I think it can be debated.
Where do we go from
Flow
here?
wise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright, so
That's cool. Go ahead.
where do we go from
I'm
here?
just saying.
do you
I'm
go
just
from-
saying, man.
where do-
Look, man, when someone says something like best thing ever, best X or Y Z ever,
It's always.
It's always,
It's
debatable.
always up for debate.
Okay, to me, nobody's ever had a
To
better.
me-
To Mohamed Yusuf, no one had a better flow.
From Tottenham.
From Tottenham, no one had better flow than Notorious B.I.G.
okay.
Christopher Wallace. That's his name, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
That's
I feel you.
go ahead.
I feel you. What was I say? Attitude. We already know who I said for that.
So Jay, right?
You took it.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. Creativity, I left that blank. Can't figure anyone. Can't freestyle this. That's about it.
Did you have one for
Did I leave
voice?
one out? No, I left that out. But if I had to say someone, just for the sake of it, because I wanted to be on this list,
He's gonna say it.
Jermaine Lamarco.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Rich.
Nah, I would want the voice of J. Cole.
You want your ultimate MC to have the voice. Sorry, I'm not. I don't want to seem like I'm attacking.
Half cracker, but a nigga too.
I don't want to sound like I'm attacking.
Listen, fam.
J Cole voice.
Jermaine Lamarco.
Well, I think Jermaine Lamarco circa 2018 when he went on his
No, I'll say Circa.
when he on his feature run.
No, I'll say Circa for the voice. I'll say Circa 2012 to 2014. Born City in Forest Hills. Or
Circa.
even if you want to go Circa 2007, 2008, you know, Friday Night Lights.
You man are dumb.
Circa
and then-
09.
Actually, no. I want to change voice. I really do. Banner aside. Give me DMX.
Okay.
Give me DMX.
Very distinctive.
So
Yeah.
what is your rapper like? Barking and growling
Yeah.
on tracks?
No,
as well?
honestly, yeah, man. And then if you got that with the lyrical content of Mos Def, the delivery of Scarface,
Does that go together though?
in my
You
mind,
had
it does.
the content and then the barking at the same time.
Yeah, this guy was praying and barking on one track.
Yeah, true.
Like if anyone, if you can't get up, like, if anybody can get away with it, it's DMX. Do you know what I mean? And I think DMX is one. Yeah, that's anyway. To me, honestly, the voice would be X, just because
Question:
that's be great.
do we think that any of our choices, like any of our ultimate MCs, would be like? Would they be like underground stars? Would be like major pop stars? What do you reckon?
I reckon mine won't be underground.
You think?
Yeah, just because.
I think mine could be. I think mine could be a pop star. You know,
I think it depends what era you're gonna throw them into.
this era.
I think mine won't be able to blow. If you got the lyrical content, if you got the lyricism of J Electronica, the lyrical content of Mos Def, and the voice of X, where you going?
Yeah, it's a bit tough, isn't it?
Where you going?
No, you'd have like a massive fan base in like the college community, like J Cole. You'd have that on lock,
And you have us.
and you have us.
And you have us.
You have the heads on lock,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think mine could have
I
both.
reckon yours could. And I reckon yours could.
You reckon?
Yeah, with the creativity of Andre 3000 and all that, I think potentially you could.
Potentially.
Just that creativity.
I think
of
yours
Andre
might be
3000
like a nice middle. Like you can appeal to both, but you're not necessarily breaking pop,
Yeah,
and you're well known underground. Like you're kind of in the middle.
right.
I feel like mine could potentially be like a breakout.
Yeah, I
Because
feel-
Kendrick went top with like great content. So
Yeah, but that's like
I reckon yours could definite. And yours would be.
I'm not sure.
That's what I say in between. The creativity of Andre 3000 plays such a major factor to me saying that, by the way.
I think out of all three of us, I'd go for Yemi.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
My one is barely selling out the whole two fam.
Or like
That's an in
AJ
joke. That's an in joke. That's an in joke. That's an in joke. That's an in joke.
I think I kind of just revealed the in
You
joke.
did just remember the in joke. But
I
since
don't-
you have,
But I don't know if they heard it.
boy,
They have.
it's an in joke.
They did hear
But
it.
shout out to that person, and we didn't mean to offend. Well, Mo didn't need to offend.
I can't win on this podcast. I actually didn't mean nothing. I swear on everything I love, I didn't mean shit.
I
man.
know.
We know because we know you. But a lot of people that listen to it, like,
I actually don't. My mind's gone black. Like I don't even know who I was meant to have part at this point. I swear on everything I love.
AJ Tracy,
Why?
you said something to the effect of
My rapper- this my
he's
rap-
not selling out X, Y, Z.
Come on, man.
Which is a
No,
fact.
we get the example.
I
But
think I-
a lot of people
but
that
I
I
did-
know
what I-
listen to it.
Yeah.
They felt like.
But what
it
I
was a
just
bit of
said now,
shade.
what I just said now, I promise you, he wasn't even on my mind.
Yeah, just now, yeah, but you know,
But who was I meant to part
it-
now? Him too.
no, it was an in joke, innit? Yemi was making light of the fact that you said something similar about my man.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, thank you,
I'm
yeah.
with Mo on
That's
this
what
one,
I'm
man.
saying,
Yeah,
thank
to be fair, yeah, you two were saying that you don't understand.
By the way,
people
yeah,
being
if
sensitive.
people feel like
People
I
are sensitive.
send a shot to AJ Tracy, it's not that deep, man.
People are
Like,
sensitive.
I'm sorry, bro, it's not that deep.
We're fans of AJ.
it's
Tracy.
not
I'm a
that
fan of
deep.
AJ.
I'm just saying I could understand why it could come across that way,
I feel you, but then everyone needs to. I don't want to say,
but it wasn't intent,
Nah.
so it's fine.
I mean,
It
even
is
if
what
it
it
was, it was it wasn't. But even if it was,
Don't overthink it, Mo.
yeah,
It's
no.
done. It's
Even
fine.
if it was, where do we go from here?
I don't know.
O2.
We put the podcast out, right?
Yeah,
It's in the air.
it is.
It's in the internet.
Then
It's
let's
never
go.
gone down.
Then let's rock on.
Internets.
Shout out to AJ Tracy, though. I fuck with you.
You said rock on again.
Yeah, shout out to AJ Tracy, though. I fuck with him. Album was
So you could have just stopped there.
no. He's like, no. When he raps, he could rap,
Like he could really rap.
but like he's got too many songs on his album where he's not rapping.
You know why though?
Label.
No, not even. He's just appealing to a different audience.
Yeah, facts.
He's appealing to a different
That's
audience.
the only reason why the album.
We're
was
not going to
relevant,
get grime AJ Tracy as much anymore.
which is jarring.
I mean, it is what it is. As he gets older, he's moving on to different audiences and
Facts.
realizing that he wants to be more of a pop star. Like he even says, "Don't call me a grime artist."
Did he say that?
He said that on an interview. Like,
Hey, well, won the album, fam.
all right then.
Who do you think built the best rapper?
Me by far.
No.
No.
And you say you're not cocky. Anyway, is what it is. Bit of great topic, and we shall move on to the next one. And this has been one that I can't lie. I have been waiting. I couldn't wait to start talking about this one. The culture vulture.
This is the one, I think I had to be waiting for 5 weeks.
I've been waiting for this for a while. I don't know why. It's just such a fascinating topic because especially for the last like maybe 5, 6, 7 years, the idea or the phenomenon of the culture vulture has been like amplified even more so, especially in the hip hop world. So I guess we kind of just want to dissect what a culture vulture is and their impact on hip hop generally. So I guess the first thing to do is to define it.
I'm going to look to you two to like educate me on this because I'm not sure I'm that aware of what a culture vulture is.
Mo, what do you think a culture vulture is?
I was going to let you go.
All right, then.
No, the reason why I was going to let you go is because you're kind of in
The industry.
the industry. So, like, no, not even kind of. You are in the industry. So, like, you could have not first hand, but like,
that's
you
your
will
one.
know.
That's your one mention per podcast that I'm industry.
Oh, you're an industry cat fam. Shout out to OVO Yemi. But like,
OBOEMs.
I think you'll be a good person to kind of talk to what you believe a culture vulture is.
Is it
I feel
similar
like this year,
to...
because you was looking forward to this, I feel like you should rock on.
Is it similar to a cultural appropriator?
I don't feel like that. I feel like culture vulture makes money off it. A culture appropriator.
A cultural appropriator can...
I think culture appropriation.
Oh, you're right. But
Is like, let's say culture vulture is at the top of the table, and culture appropriation is kind of like in the middle. Like you're appropriating off a culture, but that's kind of like,
only so far.
yeah, it only goes so far. But also like culture appropriation just happens every day. Like Kim Kardashian can be accused of getting braids and being a culture appropriator. Like it's taking maybe some kind of inspiration or outright doing something that represents another culture and being called out on it, essentially. A culture vulture to me is someone who enters a culture that they're not part of, profits off it, and then bounces. And then some of them might even go on to criticize the same culture that they're profiting off of. That's a culture vulture to me. And over the last few years, we've seen those a lot. So obviously there's Miley Cyrus. She was vulturing like a mofo back in 2012, 2013.
Circa 2012, 2013.
Circa. Maybe that'll be the title of the podcast. Circa.
The man are dumb.
But yeah, there was her. She was hopping on songs with Mike Will Made It. She was rapping about, She was singing about taking Molly, because obviously Molly was a big thing back then. And then when she was done with it, she basically criticized rap and the glorification of stuff like that, which she did. And then she went back to do her country stuff. And now she just kind of dips in and out whenever she pleases. So that to me is the absolute prototype of a culture vulture. Someone who just sees a wave, jumps on it, gets what they want from it, goes back to their world, never to even interact with that culture again. And it's been argued that Drake is one as well, with regards to the UK.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Why do you disagree?
Because you said a culture vulture, in your opinion, is someone that dips in, dips out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Drake's been listening to UK music. I remember Drake was on SPTV in 2009 when he had that blue denim top on and he was talking about Sneak Bowl.
I remember that as
He was
well.
talking about Sneak Bowl in 2009. That was when Drake was not as popping as he is now. He could walk on Hyde Park, because I remember he was walking in Hyde Park with someone talking about UK music.
Well, sorry to cut you off. To give it some context, obviously Drake had done his tour of London. He was in the the 02 to the 03 for, what was it, 2 weeks?
10
and then
shows or something like that.
yeah, and then I think in the midst of that, Wiley called him a culture vulture, to which Drake responded on BBC Radio 1, shout out to Tiffany Calver, and basically said, I don't know why having an interest and promoting UK artists is me being seen as a culture vulture. So basically just being like, I'm not a culture vulture, I actually help people.
He's not, yeah, but he has. If he's been literally been rocking with UK music from, I don't know why I keep saying this word now, Peter, bruv. If he's been listening to
Circa.
if he's been listening to UK music since 08, been showing love 08, 09, 2010, 2011, that made 11 years later, 12 years later. Surely that at what point did we say, yo, maybe he just fucks with us? Because Canada and UK is not that different.
Right.
It's not hard to imagine someone from Canada fuck with UK music. We speak the same slang. We've got the same influences. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're very similar people. It's not like America, UK. We're practically. Like, I've got family in UK. Yo, we speak the same. We have the same slang, literally.
Yeah, I mean the Jamaican
The
population
influence,
over there is there. As
That's
well.
my point. So why is it so hard to believe? Like, just because the only reason why people are looking at him sideways is because he's the biggest artist in the world.
I don't think it's that. I think if you look at Drake over the course of his career, it's not only UK music he's done it
Oh
with.
no, he's very good at hopping on.
Yeah, so that's why they call him a culture vulture, because you take from these different genres of music and then you dip. That's
But he
why.
doesn't deal with UK.
Yeah, but
In relation
it's not
to
just
the
the UK.
No, but I'm saying UK wise, is he a culture? Because we're talking about is he being a culture vulture to us, right?
I mean, what is he actually giving to the scene?
He gave us the J Hus moment. He gave us Kissing My Teeth with Gigs.
He gave Dave his biggest song,
But he only hopped on a remix.
but then that song was not as big as it was. It's when he hopped on a remix. That song blew when he hopped on a remix.
Of course, it's
It's
always
Drake,
going to.
yeah, but that's my point. So it's like, let's not act like he's giving back as well. Like,
So you feel like him?
Is that giving back though, or is that him?
what does he benefit out of hopping on not words? This is Drake we're
Credit,
talking about.
like
this,
credibility.
this is Drake we're talking about.
Yeah, but he's always wanted credibility. He's always wanted credibility because he's been seen as the soft guy. He's been seen as the bitch.
And you think him dropping on a Dave track it makes it different?
No, it's part of his mission just to gain wider credibility across the world. Him hopping on a Bad Bunny tune and singing fluent Spanish.
No, I feel you. I feel like there's certain parts of Drake that are, I'm just like the UK scene only at this point. Do you know what I mean?
I do think I'm not going to call him a culture vulture as it relates to the UK. I don't think he's necessarily a culture vulture. I think he's the biggest beg I've ever seen.
That's different.
That's a different conversation.
I think it's a different conversation, but if we're talking about Drake and the UK, we have to have this conversation.
I might be the only person here that feels like this. I honestly feel like maybe I'm being so naive. I just feel like Drake's just fucks with our music. That might be me being naive, and I can admit that.
That is not in doubt. We know he fucks with
But I
the
feel like
music.
that's the way it is,
It's
that's
just the way that he does it. It doesn't sit well with people because even though he's been shouting out Sneak Bowl circa 08, 09, like, it's the way he moves. It's like, it's him being recorded at a low ski show doing the most. I know he may mess with the music, but if you put together his history, it's kind of hard to not look at him sideways.
Yeah, but him being recorded there, can he help that?
He could definitely say, turn it off.
In a big concert, bro.
Do we know who recorded him?
I don't know.
Fans.
There you go.
He's at a show. I think it was at a balcony or something, and he's listening to he's watching loads.
I think he wanted it to be fair. I think he wanted it to be recorded. That's just me, but there you go.
Where do you want him to watch the show?
I'm not saying he can't watch the show. I'm saying the way he moves and the way he's
You feel like
presented.
he wants that?
Yes. He wants that credibility. He wants that credit for taking the UK scene to another level, which I don't think he has.
I don't think he has. I just feel like I honestly might be just ignorant here. I don't even feel like he wants that credit so much. I feel like if he came into the scene at 2015, I'll feel you. I'll be like, hey, you man are right.
Can I ask a question? If the gatekeepers of said genre of music fuck with the artist that's being called a culture vulture, are they still a culture vulture? And the reason why I ask is because the prominent artists from our scene fuck with Drake. They kind of are giving them a pass
Yeah, you can
as
still
far as being able to, like, you know, move in our scene, move around London, collaborate with whomever. Can he still be considered a culture vulture if them man don't consider him a culture
Yes,
vulture?
yeah, you definitely can still be.
100%.
You still can.
Because
How many people-
Murder Mook messes with Yes Jules, and Yes Jules is on 100%
I
a
was
culture
going to
vulture.
say, how many people has Leo Cohen signed? Leo Cohen to me is a culture vulture. Do you know what I mean? How many people has he fucked with? Do you know what I mean? You can still be a culture vulture if people in the industry or like us lot still fuck with you. It's just they might be blind.
It's a good look. It's a good look for the artist as well.
But do I feel like
Is it a good look for Drake, though?
Yes.
oh
Why?
come on, big time?
How?
Drake gets a good. Don't
Because-
get me wrong, not as massive. Sorry, rock on.
You got to think about how the UK public looks at Drake now. Like, shout out to JP at Complex. He wrote an article saying we can no longer call Drake. We can no longer, like, he basically argued that we can no longer question Drake's I suppose loyalty to the UK because he's constantly supported it. You know what I mean? So
That's
but you can still be a culture vulture. I'm not saying he
What,
is.
even if he supports our scene?
you can still be a culture vulture if you support.
How?
Because if you're supporting it but you're not actively doing much to support it other than
So then how are you supporting it? If you're collaborating with, I'm playing devil's advocate because I don't actually know if I've got an answer for this, but if he's collaborating with, you know, the artists here, if he's turning up at like a low ski concert, you don't think that's bringing more light to like the artists that he's doing this with? You don't think it helps the scene? More attention, more light?
Of course.
So then if he's doing that and that's a positive thing, why would someone deem him as a culture vulture for doing those things?
Because what is he gaining out of it?
If he's not gaining anything at all, because he's not.
I think
Really?
he is.
What do you feel like Drake gains out of it? You know what I mean?
Credibility. I keep saying it. It's
I
credibility.
don't think you. So
So you think him being at a low ski show is giving him credibility?
Yes, because you got to think about, especially when I remember when before when Top Boy was rumored to be coming back, and he started talking road talk Drake, and that was when I was at a height of people thinking that Drake was a best.
That's corny.
That stuff is corny. I think he does these things. He's very tactical. Like he's a smart guy. He does these things for a reason.
but being corny and being a beg don't make you a culture vulture.
That's what I'm saying.
But we're not saying he is.
Yeah, but
We all
that's
agree
like
here he's
yep.
not.
Huh?
We all agree here he's not a culture vulture.
But for devil's advocate,
I don't know if he is.
Do you feel? Where do you stand on this?
It's tough. I feel like with UK music I look at him differently with UK music than I do when he's like hopping into like, you know, the more the controllers, when he like, song like a controller. I can see why people may consider him to be a culture vulture when he does things like that than when he's messing with UK music, because when he's doing songs like that, he just does the songs, has a hit, and then does nothing more with that genre of music. He just skedaddles onto whatever else he wants to
I
do.
agree.
But like with UK though, I feel like he's present.
That's my only thing.
He's being quite helpful.
consistent.
Whether he's a beg or not, he's still being helpful.
of course he's
Going to a low ski show is helpful for low ski.
Of course, but what I'm saying is he knows what he's doing, and there is a benefit to him to do it because he wants to be seen as this guy who is not saving the scene, but is basically giving the scene more light.
But if we're getting down to like the technical term of what being a vulture is, to be a vulture, you're picking at something, right? And you're taking away. I don't know what he's picking at in the UK and taking away though.
Hits.
What hits?
KMT.
No way.
That would be fair for you to say if he didn't have many other hits.
What, generally?
Yeah.
But-
and I don't know if KMT was like a
No.
massive hit.
Hang on. It is a hit.
What,
It is a
KMT?
massive-
Yo, KMT's different.
What, here?
Yo,
Yes.
KMT.
Obviously. But not, I don't know if overseas KMT's like
Supposedly he grew on them.
going crazy.
Supposedly he really
I don't
grew on them.
necessarily think that matters because
I think it matters.
Where's by the UK?
I don't necessarily think it matters because it was such a big moment for the UK, which again is part of. I'm not saying he's got a plan, but it's part of this. It's part of the story of the relationship between Drake and the UK. He's managed to give us a beat, a song that blew up, and that's other than that, and like collaborating with Georgia Smith and being at a Lowski show or shouting out whoever. There's nothing else there really, other than just pure love. And I believe that he properly has love for the scene. I get that. But the way he moves sometimes, in regards to the scene, kind of rubs me up the wrong way. Because it's like you're doing too much.
So what would he need to do to not be considered a vulture?
Maybe carry on what he's doing. Maybe keep on going.
Okay. So you need...
I don't think there's a straight answer to it. I think if he's really about supporting the scene, then he just continues what he's doing.
I think at this point now he's proved that.
Well, to some people. But to other people,
Yeah, I'm
he
trying
hasn't.
to
How many
understand...
years do you have to? How many years do you have to back UK music for him to prove that he's a fan?
Because everyone else is looking at everything else outside of the UK.
But I'm just saying I feel what you're saying. I'm just like how long do you need someone to be like, yo, he fucks with us? Does it have to be 20 years, 10 years, 15? Do you know what I mean? Is there a cut-off point?
And I think also with being a vulture, if he was like taking Giggs' flow or whomever's flow of the prominent artists in the UK and using them on his albums and then not citing, where he was influenced as far as that flow, then I would understand why people are calling him a culture vulture. But he's not doing that. He's not taking like the low skis flows or whomever's flows and using them on his music and then like profiting off it. He's not doing that. He's not like allowing the influence of being soaked in the influence of the UK to affect him musically. So I'm trying to understand why people see him as a vulture. I think more so people think he's a beg and I think they're mixing that with being a vulture.
I think that's it as well. I agree with you. I think people have their definitions of what a culture vulture is, and they might be interchangeable between an actual vulture and being a beg.
Yeah.
I think Wiley thinks he's a beg, but he called him a culture vulture. Maybe to hurt him a little bit more, or maybe that's just what he sees. And Wiley, who was someone who has bred and been able to facilitate so many rappers that we love to come through, like his authority has a bit of what can I say?
Credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, you listen when Wiley talks.
Wiley's allowed to. Wiley has got enough leverage to say what he needs. Like
Yeah.
we listen to what he says.
So if he calls someone a culture vulture, then
Ears perk up.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
But who would you class as an take UK out of it? Who would you guys class as an actual culture? Like who do you look at and see that's a culture vulture? Besides Miley Cyrus.
Yes, Jules.
Yes, Jules. I don't know what she does, but she
I'll
penetrated.
tell you what she does.
What she do?
Because you just used the right word straight after.
No, but how did she? That was great. I don't know how. But I don't know how she got there.
I
don't
can
know
tell you how she got there. You use that word.
No,
Penetrate.
I don't know how. Look, okay, fine. But I don't know what she does. I think she's like a DJ. I think she does events. She might do A&R. I might be wrong. I don't know what she does. But anyway, she has been a fixture in the scene and the culture.
You know what the problem is? It's our fault. Us as black people.
Well,
we don't have any. Like, look at Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus's, Yes Jules's, even what's that?
Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. We're the ones that are hopping on songs with her. DMX is doing a video with her. Lil Yachty's got a song with her. Yes Jules, Murder Moose laughing while she's cussing black women.
DMX did a video with who?
Yeah, and he's in her video.
Whose video?
Bad Baby.
Wow.
But DMX just come out of jail, fam. He didn't know what he was doing, fam. Forgive him.
Well, to give it wider context, she put out a freestyle basically dissing black women. Was it black women?
Who?
What, Bad Baby?
No, Yes Jules.
Oh.
Yeah, and then she's cussing black women and Murder Moose sitting right there laughing. Like, it's on us. I feel like we might not have
Gatekeepers.
But even if we did, like, say, for example, Jay-Z's our gatekeeper. And Jay-Z today says, yo, we all need to stop fucking with Miley Cyrus. You think Miley Cyrus's fans are going to give a fuck?
No, because they probably don't even like rap.
We didn't like it. We didn't like what Miley Cyrus was doing. But my point is, when she dipped into it, I don't think rap fans took it seriously. It's just she knew that was hot. And the younger fans will love that. Do you know what I mean?
And I feel like there was a prominent producer who was behind
Michael
her.
made it.
Yeah, exactly. So that didn't help either.
Michael made it push the fuck out.
Michael made her have some kind of credibility. Maybe not to us, but to like younger rap fans. Like this is someone who hangs with rappers. She's cool with rappers. She makes songs with rappers. She must be dope, or she must be like credible. And it might be the same with Yes Jules. Like she's out and about with rappers. She's got relationships with rappers. Apparently Joe Budden tried to press. He denies it.
I believe Joe Budden.
But there you go.
So I don't mean to cut you off. I had a question though.
Go ahead.
Do you guys feel like there's a UK culture vulture? Like a Charlie Sloth or... Just putting it out there. Am I the only one that views him as a culture vulture?
Well, you think anyone who's white...
No, I don't, because I don't feel like Tim West was a culture vulture.
Okay, you feel like most people who are white and are in the scene or the culture are...
That don't act like they're guests or don't acknowledge the fact they're a guest. That's Yes Jules' problem. She doesn't know that you're allowed to speak, but only so far.
But how
Do you
many
know what I
people
mean?
do? But how many people do acknowledge that?
That's my point. Like, Leo Cohen in his Breakfast Club interview honestly acted like we owed him a favour. That's how I got that interview. That
So
came
what,
across.
you think he's a culture
Yes,
vulture?
without a doubt.
I don't think he is.
I feel like
I think
he
he's
is.
a businessman.
So so if you're a culture vulture but you're a businessman, does that take you out of the fact that you're a culture vulture?
I think if you've got the hat of a businessman on, it's not really about
You can still-
all you're looking to get from any sort of situation is financial gain. I don't.
That's the difference.
In some ways, you've got to be a vulture to be a business.
That's my point. Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's a businessman. He's savvy. He's rich. He must be smart. That doesn't negate from the fact that you're still a culture vulture. If you're making money off our backs, you can still be. Leo Cohen was the definition of it. He was like, yo,
I think what didn't help him was saying that he would still sign someone who had drug problems because...
at the end of the day, it's his gain.
Yeah.
Or that he told a rapper
didn't
stop
help.
rapping about. I think it was a drug that was affecting the white man. But he's like, yo, so what about popping syrup or something like that? He's like, yo, I got to make my money at the end of the day. I'm not going to tell him stop.
So in that respect, I can see both sides.
To me, he is one. And I fuck with Damien Dash.
Because he's just gone with what's selling it now, and that's like all that drug talk. But also, like on the flip side, you're ruining whatever description that anyone might have of hip hop or of rap, because you're trying to chase something that is commercial and something that isn't substantial, or something that isn't like content-wise not great, or like even like life-wise. Like that's a man, you're profiting off someone who has actual problems,
Facts.
and you're not trying to help him.
Facts. That's my only point. But so, do you guys feel like, say, a sloth is a culture vulture? Do you feel like he's a beg?
I think he's a beg.
Because I feel like I might have used the wrong word.
Because he's got a platform and he's still allowing
That's because he benefits.
these up and coming rappers to, you know, jump on his show.
That's because he benefits. He saw what Westwood done.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. It's a great platform.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think he.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might have used the wrong word.
He might just be a beg.
No, right, that's not might be. He is a beg.
But again, it goes back.
He does not talk like that at home.
But it goes down to how he moves. Like being a beg is very much determined by your perception. And perceptive, when it comes to perception and Charlie Sloth, he does a lot. He does so much. Like he moves around. He makes all kinds of noises. Blah blah blah. So I can see why people might think he's a beg. And that's the same thing I'm thinking with Drake. Even though obviously no one, he obviously didn't tell that person at the Low-Key show to record him. But
You feel like he knew that the fact the cameras were going to be on him.
fam, the lights were flashing.
I feel you.
The lights were flashing. He knew he was being recorded.
I feel you.
So there's that as well. It's just the way he moves.
Yeah, man. Because sometimes I feel what you're saying. Because I never used to look at Dappy and think, yo.
Nah, you didn't, did you?
Nah. The only time he pissed me off is when he said nigger fam, and then I was like, yo.
But to be fair, we don't really think of non-black people like that until we're older. Like, I'm pretty sure none of us thought about Eminem being a culture vulture or a guest growing up. Now, with hindsight,
But we still feel like Eminem's calm.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't look at Eminem, I feel like, what the fuck you doing here?
But he's acknowledged he's a guest though.
So has a few people that are white. It's just the ones that kind of, I feel like they've got a right to disrespect or have the same level of respect as someone like a fucking putting the work in. Like, relax, man.
Someone like a Yes Jules feels like
she's
hip hop owes her something.
That's my only, and that's how
And then she's being backed by people in hip hop.
That's my point, and that's how Leo Cohen felt in his interview. Like, yo, we owe him something. Yes, Jules feels like, yo, you lot, I'm trying to help you guys out. You guys should be thanking me. Like the whole white savior thing. Like, I might be looking too deep into it, I promise you. But I just feel like that's how it comes across.
Think deeply.
Like,
man.
you guys, I'm trying to help you guys out. You might not meant to be thanking me. Like, we don't need you. Do you know what I mean?
At all.
Like, whether it's Yes, Jules, Leo Cohen, or fucking Jimmy Iovine. I don't know why I just wanted to add his name into the list.
The one thing I will say about Leo Cohen, Jimmy Iovine, they've actually contributed to the culture.
I would never disrespect Jimmy Iovine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I won't. Even Leo Cohen, but it's just, I feel like he's,
So
after
that's-
that interview, come on, man.
But that's where it gets a bit murky, because you're contributing to a culture that you're obviously profiting off of. You say some outlandish things about the culture that you're profiting off of, but you're also making better.
Exactly. My thing is, if you're a guest, you know who I feel like is prominent, not a rapper. Like, say you're Peter Rosenberg. He goes about it the perfect way. He knows, he knows exactly where he belongs.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows exactly. Like, look at Peter Rosenberg's a radio personality. Charlie Sloth's a radio personality. I guarantee they kind of were raised in the same establishment. Like, do you know what I mean? Nice household. Didn't really went about it right, correct way.
Peter Rosenberg is Jewish.
No, but they spoke. I'm pretty sure Charlie Sloth is spoke a certain way. Like, do you know what I mean? But then look how Charlie Sloth acts, and then look how Peter Rosenberg acts.
Pete Rosenberg's been doing it for a lot longer though.
But then I respect him because he doesn't act up a certain way. Charlie Sloth is honestly acting a way where we're meant to look at him. I feel like, yeah, like he thinks
I don't think he does.
I feel like he views us as that. He looks at us and feels like we all look at him and think, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, there's probably a bit of that.
You really think he talks like that at home?
No way.
You really think he spoke like that growing up?
No way.
Supposedly this guy was raised in a fucking. I remember Daily Mail done a thing on him where they exposed him. Kind of, he was raised in like a proper posh area. His dad was a businessman or something like that.
I feel you. So basically, you think that Peter Rosenberg is like an example to follow.
I personally feel like that.
Okay.
I might be wrong here, but I feel like I don't know if he's ever done anything that's too flagrant. But I feel like he just goes about it the right way. He puts people on. He's got a great ear whether you like it or not. Like, to me, Peter Rosenberg's got a great ear. I think he had Joey Badass like
Way back.
years before he was big.
Yeah.
He's got an ear for it. He had the Flashport Zombies early.
Shout out Flatbush.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? That's my only. I might be wrong here, but that's kind of what I gauge. But I feel like it's a fine line between a culture vulture and a beg, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure how much of a fine line it is because culture vultures are just like so on one end of the spectrum and they do things so loud and do things so like big. You notice when they do something with the culture and then when they're out of it. A beg, they can go about their day, they go about their lives doing what they're doing while still having this reputation, but it's not really hurting anybody. Not to say that a culture vulture is hurting anybody, if not like maybe damaging the credibility of the culture for a bit. But I don't know if there's a fine line, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I feel like we get our wires crossed between the beg and the culture vulture.
100%.
Might be.
What do you think, Pete?
I agree. I think in the case of Drake, I think he's more beg than he is a vulture. He's helping the scene, and I don't feel like he's trying to take anything from it. I don't know. I know you say about him getting credibility, but how much more credibility can he possibly try and get? Like,
You know what I mean?
That's up to him.
we're never going to look at Drake in a particular way. We're never going to look at him as like, this person that has loads of like street credibility in that.
It depends on who you ask, though. Not us in this room, but you got to think about the younger generation.
Nobody, bro. I haven't spoken to anybody, even when I
the younger
spoke to.
generation, though.
You got to think about the younger generation, especially the younger generation are only seeing certain things. Like maybe they weren't around for the beginning of circa '08 when the Sneak Bowl was a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Circa 08.
They're seeing the Lowski stuff. They're seeing the J Huss stuff. To them, they're probably thinking, "Oh yeah, Drake is amazing." So it does. I think it does depend on the generation and what you choose to look at and what you don't.
But I think he's more so doing it for us. Like if he is seeking that credibility, I think he's more so trying to gain it from us, not the youngsters, because we're at an age where we have our senses together, and I think he would make music for and try and gain approval for like our age groups. You know what I'm saying? So I know you lot have mentioned like the young people and catering to them to a certain extent, but I don't think he is. I think it's more so us. I think he wants that. If he does want any sort of credibility and respect, I think it's going to be from us upwards.
I feel you.
I agree with you. I just think he's trying to appeal to anyone who will listen. Pretty much. So whether that's us or younger, strictly boys, strictly girls, strictly adults, I think whoever is taking in the message will take in the message.
I feel you.
I feel you.
So we can all agree that Drake is not a culture vulture, but he's a beg.
I don't think he's a beg either.
Nah, he's a beg.
He's definitely a beg.
Yeah, he's alright, cool. Majority rules.
You don't want to. No, I mean, if it's your opinion, it's your opinion.
don't.
but
It's
I just don't
weird.
like the way he moves.
I feel like he does. It's hard to explain, man. I feel like, hey, you know what? Do what you want, Drake, fam.
You can still have a love for
Yeah,
a
man. I feel like
scene,
he's got a love for us,
but
but
you
then
can still.
I think he
it's
like
the way
beg. Yeah,
you
no, he's a
move.
beg as well. He's a beg as well. I'll give you that. But I feel like he genuinely does fuck with us.
Yeah, UK scene, I don't think he's a vulture.
Yeah, I think he genuinely fucks with the UK scene.
He does. He does.
Cool.
And shout out to him for it because
Shout
he's
out to
obviously
Drake, man.
placing a lot of eyes on a scene that's still growing.
And I fuck with him for that, bruv, because he's the biggest artist in the world.
Like
bruv.
there are now Canadians and Americans who know who Lowski is, who know who
That's all
Georgia
it- that's-
Smith
that-
is, who know who J Huss is.
That's my only point. Like, it's
Yeah.
these men make their money.
I don't disagree with the end, but I might disagree with the means.
Fair enough. I feel you.
And on that note, thank you for tuning in once again to another episode.
Just quickly, shout out to Stormzy. I'm looking forward to his new album,
Ah yes, shout out to Stormzy. He dropped a new song, Bossy Bop.
Bossy Bop.
It's a bop. It's all right.
I like it.
It's all right.
It's gonna grow on me as well. But I'm going Murky first, so I'm really gassed for the album now.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go off.
I can't wait, fam.
That's gonna go off.
The amount of
Murky
cultural
Fest.
appropriation that's gonna happen in Murky Fest. But I can't wait for the thing album.
100%. And also shout out to SL as well. SL
Shout out
is
to
a
SL.
young London rapper. He dropped an EP called Everything Good Is Bad recently.
Put that in
And
the WhatsApp group.
I did. And it's a good listen. He's very much a young kid on the rise. And Drake shouted him out too on Tiffany Harvey show. So shout out to Drake.
I'll
for
listen
that
to him literally on the way home now.
one. Safe.
Shout out Schoolboy Q, recently released an
Oh
album as
yeah,
well.
shout. Oh, he does.
I've heard a bit of about it.
Really?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But we'll
don't
talk
do
about
that.
it.
Don't do that.
I mean that's
Don't
all
do
I've
that.
heard.
I like listening with a clear mind.
Alright, fair. So I apologize.
Shout out Ezra Collective as well. They just dropped an album, so looking forward to
no,
checking that out.
Shout out to YG as well.
Not rap.
Shout out to YG as well. No, bad
I
aside.
feel you. And
Shout out to YG. He's got a song called Fuck Snitching, but you guys need to watch the video.
I saw the thumbnail. Is he being hung?
Yeah, so basically
From a tree.
it's about from what I gathered, it's about slavery, and then he was gonna revolt, and then there was someone that snitched on him to the massa, which is
Massa.
a true story in North Carolina. So it's a dope visual, and it's a dope song.
All right.
So shout out to
Shout
Nipsey
out
Hussle, and he let out
for-
33 balloons for. I said shout out to Nipsey Hussle. Shout out to YG.
Shout out to YG.
Flying Low.
Fly Low as well. He's dropped a
that-
couple songs.
I think the album's out.
I don't think the album's out, bro.
You sure?
He's dropped a couple songs, but I don't think the album's out. I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Shout out to him. I mean, look, music, as we get towards summer, the big hitters are coming. So let's look forward to that one. Safe. Well, on that note, we will see you soon.
Thank God, we thank God.
Thank you for listening.
Peace.
Peace.